Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the only podcast that is happy to be up at 5 a.m. on a Monday. Joining me in the lab, as always, at Danny Webb, AGSAU. How are you, mate?
Good, mate, good. Feel a little bit weird that I can't touch you, but sometimes we just got to do what we got to do. We got to get these out, and we're already 3 days late. So the fact that we're in here is a positive, isn't it?
We're going review episode today because that is one of the bugbears that I have to have working with two of the busiest men in the world. So getting you two in the same room is tough. Obviously missing Charlie today, but I feel like that has a lot to do with the fact that his Bills lost on the weekend to the Dolphins. He said, I'm not fucking coming in this week.
Yeah, he said he was under weather, but under the weather by the pounding that the Dolphins put on the Bills, that was got to be one of their worst games that the Bills have played in years.
It was very... You went first on the text message chain into him with just a dolphin swimming, which I appreciated, but I wasn't ready to poke that bear, and you went straight in for the jugular.
Yeah, it was quite a great game to punt on. I had a little Achan ladder going into that game, and he smoked it every single rung. He got up to, I think we had the highest I had him back was 130 yards, and I was paying $17, and it hit. It was so good. And the fact that it happened against the Bills, against Charlie's Bills, just makes it even juicier.
Yeah, it was very, very sweet. Especially he was very cocky last week about, we're just going to walk in there, we're going to dog walk them, and they didn't. So I was also pretty confident with my Packers beating your Eagles. They ended up being a defensive juggernaut of a game, and you got the chocolates, mate. Well done.
Yeah, well, it still went down to the final 2 seconds. There was some weird play calling going on both sides of the ball there. I do not know what Nick Sirianni was thinking when we went on that 4th down, when you could have kicked a field goal. Go up by 6, you're going to give them the ball anyway with 40 seconds to go. You had the chance. And then you still were at, yes, it was a 65-yard field goal or whatever it is attempting in Lambeau in the wind. It was never going to happen. But you still had the chance to, tie up the game. Where if we had just kicked a field goal, that would have never have happened. But, it was a nervous game. We got it done. But, yeah, just like you said, very, very defensive heavy. But it was good. Anytime we can knock you down a peg or two on your beloved Packers, that's great. we got to love it. And then if it's a little AGS bowl in there as well, just a little bit of cherry on the cake.
Yeah. You've won the last 2 AGS bowls, so we'll keep that on the down low. Some interesting news did come out during the week, though, and I find it a little bit perplexing. I think it's the last 5 coaches of the year. It was 2018 to 2023 coaches of the year have all been sacked after Brian Daboll got the arse.
Yeah, big news coming out of New York. So I have some boots on the ground in New York after my last little visit. It was really, really interesting to speak to some of the people. They actually think this was the GM was about to get fired, and he hit panic. Obviously, the Giants weren't going to get there. They've gone through, the Russell Wilson experiment didn't work. Dart is working, but apparently he wants to get CTE early because he just keeps on smashing his head. He's going...
I think it's 4 times this year he's already gone out with concussion, and he's missing this week. I think it's just been named that Jameis Winston's going to start. So they're playing the Packers, which is just fucking grouse. He's going to come out and beat us.
4 times, and he started in week 6? So you're telling me he's got concussed every single game? That is some poor player management. Jackson Dart should be the player of the future. When he first came out on that first game, everyone was loving him, and he was slinging the ball. He was rushing for touchdowns. He looked like the man. I'm pretty sure he beat the Birds, and it really hurt. But he did. He looked good. But if you're not protecting, as a head coach, if you're not protecting your star quarterback, and he's getting concussed every single week, and then you're also losing a lot, of course you're going to get the ass.
We did think it was a hot seat, but I didn't think this early. I thought he might see out the season. So you've got a list of potential head coaches already.
Yeah, so Mike McCarthy apparently is odds-on favourite at $8 to get the head coaching job. Not the head coach I would hire if I was the Giants. Let's be a little bit smart. I know, a lot of head coaching experience. Yes, he had some wins with the Cowboys and took them to the playoffs and all that sort of stuff. But then, look at the downfall towards the end of his tenure there. Most people leave the Giants and get better. They don't necessarily come to the Giants and get better. So not necessarily loving that. Another one that caught my eye, though, is Steve Spagnuolo. old Spags from the Chiefs coming across. I can't see the Chiefs actually wanting to ever let him go. But a defensive-minded head coach going to the Giants, probably a smart move.
They do have
The
an elite
most
defense.
the most spicy of all of this, though, Bill Belichick out of North Carolina has already said publicly in his closed circles, but luckily we got boots on the ground, has said that he actually wants to come and coach the Giants. He is apparently the Giants' savior. So it'd be nice to see Bill Belichick back in the NFL because he was doing so well for his final few years.
He's in his 70s, isn't he?
Yeah. Man is old.
Yeah.
And still wants back in the NFL.
I'd love to get. We don't have it. We'd love to get odds on that though. We do have some others. Clint Kubiak at $9. Luan Arumo, 10.50. Cliff Kingsbury. Just some interesting names out there. That have either gone back to college or are now OC DCs in the league. So it's going to be an interesting. What is there? 9 weeks to go, and then till we find out. Really, I can't imagine they're going to name this before the end of the season.
No, they'll stick with the interim head coach until the season's done. Like, what's the point? Like, there's no point paying someone else to do the role for a losing season. They might as well start going for the draft picks already.
That was one thing I did see. Dayball gets paid the next 2 years to do nothing. He's getting, millions. Absolutely millions, because he signed it as a 4-year deal, I reckon, only 2 years ago. So, yeah, good on him.
So wow. Bill Belichick's odds are...
Oh, you have them?
Mate, quick fingers. He's paying $170 to 1.
Put it on. Put it all on. We got a couple $100 in our account. Put it all on.
It'd be crazy.
He's getting crazy.
Well, another one that we should talk about. I don't know if we mentioned it, but Lane Kiffin, who was actually was actually the Ole Miss head coach for Jackson Dart.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice little.
If we're doubling down on Jackson Dart, getting his college coach to coach him in the NFL would be huge.
Yeah, interesting time. Yeah, it's never a good time to be in the Giants room, but the whole of New York, the Jets are doing the same thing. They've just kind of blown themselves up. So we'll see what happens in New York over the next 9 weeks. Something that's really been bugging you of late is the MVP race, and Jonathan Taylor had an absolute day out. 242, I think it was on the ground, 40 in the air, 3 touchdowns. Went from $16 down to $6 for the MVP race. But you're going to tell us why he's not going to win it.
I would love him to win it. I'd love a non-QB to win it. But speaking to some people that vote, their theory is that the MVP is a player that has to touch the ball every single play, and the only player that does that is a quarterback. So essentially it's a quarterback award. So then we did some deep diving. I was like, well, when was the last time a player actually got a first vote? Because they rank them in orders like first, second, third. And first obviously has the highest weighting of votes to go towards the MVP. The last player to do that was Cooper Kupp in his Triple Crown year. Do you know how many first place votes he got?
I do, but you can tell me.
1. So in the past 10 years, the only non-QB to get a first place vote was Cooper Kupp, and he got a single vote. So there is hundreds of votes that have gone out in the past 10 years and been cast, and only 1 has gone to a non-QB. As much as Jonathan Taylor deserves it, he is helping the Colts have that number 1 record at the moment. He is doing everything possible, like 250 yards, 4 touchdowns, or whatever it was. He's got 17 touchdowns on the year. That is mind-blowing. And he's still not going to win MVP.
I do think, didn't we have a bet that we put at the start of the year, any player to have 20 touchdowns?
We did. We're close. We're getting super close to that.
It's pretty juicy too, I remember. So just keep an eye. We'll touch base with that one in a couple of weeks when that ticks off. He's by far. We saw it last week when as soon as you stop him, you can. That's the way to beat the Colts, really. So if that doesn't mean that he's the most valuable player, then I don't know what does. So it is very much a QB award, but he has jumped. The slight chance that he is going to win it, you should have jumped on last week when he was $16 because he's down to $6 now. We've lost so much cash.
You can't be chasing it at $6. That is far too short for a non-QB.
Yeah, and there's every chance it blows out again. we've already spoken about the battle that we called the battle of the NFC, but realistically, the Seahawks and the Rams are probably the two standout teams at the moment in the NFC, and they're going head to head this week, mate. How do you see that matchup going?
Huge game. Matt Stafford is probably playing some of the best football he's played like since the Super Bowl run. And then you've got the weapons of Devontae Adams. We were talking about when Devontae Adams went to the Rams, was he going to make that much of a difference? But when you got Puka Nacua lining up on the other side and Devontae Adams, every single time they get down into the red zone, they just have a little chip pass and they hit him. They hit him because like he is still one of the quickest players off the line. And then the way he can get open and run routes, and Matthew Stafford's finding him every single time, makes him a really, really, really hard play to defend. Flip the side, and you got Sam Darnold, who is playing elite football at the moment. He is just dominating, and he is going for all of the yards. And then not only do they have JSN, they've got Cooper Kupp returning to SoFi after the Rams wanted to get rid of him. And then they signed Rashid Shaheed traded for from the Saints. So now their offensive core is mind-blowingly good too. Like this game, hopefully, we love an offensive heavy game. Hopefully it's going to be an absolute shootout.
Devontae, I'm just reading here. This is breaking news. Has had a bit of an oblique issue, but they do expect him to play. But first for receiving touchdowns with 9 on the season. So you're right, just finding him open when they need to. So he'll be available Sunday, just so don't forget to put him in your touchdown scorers. You're right, though, with the Seahawks coming off absolutely dog walking. They doubled the Cardinals' score, which shouldn't surprise us, really. In the last 2 weeks, they've put on, 40 against the Commanders, now 44 against the Cardinals, mate. Their offense is scary.
Yeah, and they not only did they smash the Cardinals, they beat them on the ground and in the air. So, like, Darnold was throwing for touchdowns, but they also rushed for 2. And, Kenneth Walker the third went for 67 yards. Like, they were just doing absolutely everything against the Cards. And the Cards were interesting in that because, like, they were still fighting back and still putting on a fair few yards against the Seahawks. So it's not necessarily like they're a defensive dominant team, but the Seahawks' ability to outscore teams is, like, next to none. And then you look at the same thing for the Rams. Like, the Rams' offense juggernaut. So it's going to be high-flying, high-shooting game.
One thing that I want to keep an eye on for the rest of the season, JSN, he's on 2K watch. Never has a receiver had 2K. He's on 2K. He's projected at the moment for 1,966. So
you got to be feeding him for it. You got to be feeding him for it. You want to be on that side of the award. You want that record. You want to be the QB that threw that as well, because that's important too.
Well, it's Megatron's record from Matt Stafford was throwing to him. I reckon it was close to 1,900. Yes, a game less, so we have to take that into it as always. But if he can hit 2,000, that'd be enormous. And I don't know who they're playing in the last round, but if he needs a couple of hundred, they'll be feeding him for sure. Who do you see getting the chocolates, mate?
This is really, really a hard one to pick. The fact that it's in SoFi is massive, but Cooper Kupp coming back to SoFi, I think you've got the storyline. Anytime there's a storyline, the script writers love it and the NFL loves it. I think the Seahawks are going to get this done, but whatever the overs is, I don't care if the overs is 80 in points, smash it. Because the Rams put up 42 points against the 49ers in the week prior. The Seahawks smashed the Cards. They're 2 offensive heavy teams, so let's just give me the Seahawks. I don't even want to know what the line is. It's probably 0.5, and give me the overs.
I like the overs call. It's going to be very offense heavy, so I agree with you there. I'm just trying to quickly find it. But I also think cheeky little Cooper Kupp touchdown in a revenge game would be a nice one. I keep saying the Rams. I don't think I give them enough credit, so I'm going to jump on the Rams this week for the win, just to be also against you. But it is going to be a cracking game. I'm not quick enough to get the actual... Oh, here we go. What are the overs? Total match points. Is 48 enough for you?
Smash it. I reckon one of the teams can probably do that on their own.
And Rams are -2.5.
Wow. That's interesting.
And
Maybe
you
there's
get
an injury that we're not fully across. That's in like 2.5 at home.
yeah,
Wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. Well, anyway, I'm taking the Seahawks. So give
and
me
see,
that.
and they give you over $2 for that 2.5 for Seahawks, mate. You smashing that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, going to be a cracking game though. The other next game, Bucks at Bills. This is another one we kind of needed Charlie for this one, just to poke the bear a little bit. Bills on a little bit of a downward trend the last few weeks, and the Bucks they did get beaten by New England, but they're going to come out hungry this week.
Yeah, this England team is like, we'll talk about it when we get to the first down Friday, but the fact that they got beaten by that team, that team's on a roll. So like that is nothing to be like shunned about. The Bucks prior to that though are playing really subtly good football. Like we're not talking about them a whole lot unless we're talking about Baker doing Baker things. But they are playing really subtly good football on both ends of the field, which is important because like, you know, they have a really strong defense. And the Bills just coming off that massive loss to the Dolphins. They're going to come out hungry. They're going to want to get out to an early lead, but getting out to an early lead against a Baker-led Bucks team doesn't actually mean that much because that man is a comeback king. He has won so many games in the fourth quarter this year, like I've lost count. I've completely
The
lost
first
count.
4 weeks was fourth quarter comebacks, weren't they?
Yeah, it was incredible. He's like the way that he's been playing this season is elite, and that's something we can't discount. But for the Bills, this game might have been a massive reality check for them to just kind of see where they're at and just have a little reset. But we also said that last time that they lost, and it's only been a couple of weeks since then. So the Bills realistically playing at home should come out and try and pound this Bucks team. It's going to be a tight fought battle.
I really want the Bucks to win, just to put the pressure on the Bills, because then I'm pretty sure next week or the week after it's Bills New England, which will be, if they're a couple of games behind, that game is going to be prime time football. And this is a very much a Baker game where they're, even if I don't know the exact odds, even if he's not favourite, he could be favourite, but he'll be telling himself, you're the underdog here. You're versing Josh Allen in Josh Allen's home. Like, I just like the Bucks in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Just after the last game, like I said off the top of this show, it was probably like one of the worst games that we've seen from the Bills in a long time. I really do think they're going to have a bounce back. They will bounce back. They won't play as bad as what we're thinking. But going up against this Bucks team, whether you're playing at home or not, that is a hard matchup. You don't want that as your bounce back game. You want to be playing.
That's not a bounce back game. You want to be turning around and going, yeah, that's all right. We've got Baker and the Bucks. If they can stop James Cook, it really seems like James Cook is that linchpin for the Bills. You stop him, you can stop the Bills, I reckon.
Yeah, the Bucks do have a few injuries in their little wide receiver room, though, so it's something to keep in consideration. And the bookies are, because the Bills are paying $1.34 for the win.
Next game, did you pick the Bills?
I am now.
Sweet. I'm going the Bucks. Next game, Broncos at Chiefs. This one, again, it's just, you picked all the games today, I will say that. You've picked some bloody good ones. This one is so spicy. If the Broncos can beat the Chiefs, it makes it so hard for them. You know, there's only going to be 8 weeks left. They're going to be 2 or 3 games behind. Like, it's only 2 or 3 games. We've seen the Ravens have already knocked off pretty much their deficit to the Steelers. But this Broncos team, I saw 8-2 record, so they're tied for the best record, and 53 punts, which is the most punts for the season. It is an Australian, which is great. But a very weird record there. So, yeah, I love this matchup by you picking this one, because if the Chiefs get knocked off again, it is at home. But if they lose again, then shit, it's a long hill to climb.
This game is so important for the AFC West. So the Chiefs are currently sitting at 5-4. So if they drop to 5-5 and the Broncos go to 9-2, I can't see the Chiefs coming back from that. They are not coming back out of the AFC West, and they've held the AFC West for what, like an uncountable amount of years. It's been so many. It's like it predated Mahomes. That's how long the Chiefs have been dominating the AFC West. Importantly, though, like a little sidebar, the other matchup to keep an eye on during this, if you're an AFC West follower, is the Chargers are playing at the Jags. But if the Chargers win, then they go up to 8-2 as well. So, like, you know, that top battle if the Broncos win, the Chiefs are out of the question. In my
Yeah.
mind, the Chiefs are out of the question in the AFC West, and it starts being a battle between the Chargers and the Broncos. And who thought we'd be saying this at the start of the year? This guy, because I said the Broncos were going to take out their AFC West, and I fully believed it. They've played some really, really yuck football at times, but they've scraped through and they've fought back, and they're another fourth quarter comeback team. It's been really well coached to end games, not necessarily start games, but definitely to end games. But anytime you go into Arrowhead, you're facing another beast because you've got that whole crowd to deal with, and you will not hear one single play count, snap count. You will be lucky to hear the play call in your ear. Like, those Chief fans are loud.
There's nothing better than the national anthem at the Chiefs where they had the big Chiefs at the end. I really do. They're not my team, but I still enjoy it. I reckon the 2015 Broncos will be saying, hang on a minute, we dominated the AFC West that year with Peyton Manning. But yeah, that is the last time that a team, other than the Chiefs, were on top. So, surely the Chiefs can't let this one slip. Like, they've been playing okay football to, like, what are they, 5-4, but 5-5, like, so 500 halfway through the season. That'd be enormous for the AFC West. And they're not turning around a 4-game. They're not doing it. They're not making 4 games up in 8 weeks.
But they are 4-1 at home, which is like really important. As I was talking about, like when they do play at home, it's a completely another beast. And anytime it's a divisional matchup, like, forget the records. It doesn't matter.
Say it every week. Does not matter.
Just forget the records. It's not important how many wins and losses you got, because these teams play each other twice a year. The coaches know, they scheme for it. They scheme for it all year. They see them play all the time. They understand each other more than you and I understand each other. We talk 3 times a week on this thing. But these coaches, they know. So it's hard not to back the Chiefs at home. And the Chiefs are also going to be playing like it's their last game. The Chiefs are going to treat this like it's their Super Bowl. Because if they lose this...
They're out of the playoff race at the moment. Like, they're not in the top 7. So they lose their 2 games out.
So every single one of these games from here on out is their Super Bowl. So watch them come out with a different attitude. So yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs at home.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I've got the Chiefs. I like the Broncos, and I reckon it'll be a tight game, but I'm going the Chiefs here. Last game that you've picked, Eagles at Lions. This is a good game for both of us because I really want you to beat the Lions.
Yeah, primetime game. The Eagles have had, I think they've got like 5 primetime games in a row, which normally, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, that's so great for time is to watch it. The Eagles haven't been playing great in primetime. Like, I'm not necessarily stoked that we have so many primetime games. Give us the early ones when no one's watching. Like, it's way better. There's so much less pressure. Like, what a game. What a game. Also, like, because the Lions are still also knocking on the door of the NFC, as much as we were saying that, it's a battle between the 2 bird teams and the Rams. You can't discount the Lions at 6-3. Like, they're only really realistically 1 game behind, and they desperately need this one to kind of stay in that race. And because the NFC North is so tight, we are starting to look ahead towards playoffs. We're in the second half of the season now. It is so much. We're on a downhill trajectory towards that Super Bowl and towards the playoffs. So every single one of these teams is going to be thinking about it. The fact that it's in Philly, major help. Huge help, the fact that we're playing at home. Eagles are favourite, $1.67 they're paying. Makes me nervous. But all we can do is hope that, like, our offensive line, I was talking last week and we clipped it, we put it up on the gram saying how good our offensive line is, that it's back and we're strong. We lost 2 players last week off our offensive line. Out on injury and like bad. Like, Lane Johnson did eventually come back towards the end of the 4th quarter, but God, he looked terrible. He is not looking good. Cool. And that is something we rely so heavily on. Like, the only way Saquon's going to have big numbers if the offensive line is healthy, and we saw that against the Packers. Saquon did not have the game that we expected him to because the offensive line went down, and we can't be having that. So we're going up with a banged up offensive line. I'm thinking, like, lots of passes to tight ends, check downs to Saquon. That sort of game. It is going to be a dirty, hard-fought game for the Eagles to get past these Lions.
So you're thinking Dallas Goedert ladder? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm loving DG this year. What a man. Like, I know I had him in my Hail Mary for 2 touchdowns, but it was a really low-scoring game, which was super
No,
disappointing.
there's only 1 touchdown in the game. 2.
And I picked 3.
Yeah.
But in saying that, like DG has been our like probably most productive, consistent player. So I'll smash a DG ladder. I got no problem with that.
Mark this. This will be next week. Yeah, I like it. I think the Lions are just starting to find their shit again, though. So that's, I know they had the speed bump where they lost last week, but and you're right. There's actually playoff prediction as it is now. There's 3 teams from the NFC North in the playoffs, which is unsurprising. The most surprising is one of them is the Bears.
Yeah. No, kind of. Like you say that. They're playing okay. Caleb Williams is still on track for 4,000.
I'm still surprised.
Actually, I don't think
I think they're not going to make the playoffs, but
I think it's dropped to 3,600. Yeah, and something we do need to touch on, like Goff threw for 320 last week, against Washington. Washington, not a good defense this year. Really not a good defense, especially not a pass defense. Their secondary is not doing too well. But really important, like he's just come off an absolute blazing of a game in that week, so like they're going to be coming in pretty hot. We're coming in banged up. Like it's never a fun time when your offensive line is hurting. Like, don't get me wrong, our second string offensive line, they do okay, but they're not out there every single time. They're not on first team snaps, and it does make a difference. And it's very, very clear that we are struggling when we don't have our starting offensive line out there. But yeah, the week prior they lost to the Vikings, which was good. Like if you're losing to JJ McCarthy, which like so many people are saying JJ McCarthy is it, and he's come out there with his alter ego. Have you heard this? His alter ego of 9. So when he gets angry, when he gets really angry, he comes out and he's like 9 is here, and that is like his alter ego. It's him trying to talk himself up, right?
That is hideous.
And I think the last time he did that, he threw for like 110 yards. I was like, 9 ain't it, brother.
Bring on 9. Fucking bring on 9. That is disgusting.
So the fact that the Lions lost to 9 and and they then smashed the Commanders, which I think a lot of teams probably will at the moment. They are injured to the max. Obviously I'm going to go my Birds. I'm nervous about it, but I've been nervous about them every single week this year. So there is nothing more I can say about that.
I was going to pick the Lions, but you just talked me out of it. So I'm going to go the Birds after that. You can't get beaten by a guy that calls himself 9, and then the Commanders are fucking putrid at the moment. So
yeah, the Lions only 2.5, which I think is bang on. Like there will be a field goal in this. It'll probably go down to the final drive.
He'll be your biggest problem. He ran for over 100 again on the weekend, so he'll be a real issue for you, which you got to watch out for. But we're on the Birds, mate. We are on the Birds.
We are on the Birds. Go Birds.
All right, let's get down. It is your week. First Down Friday, brought to us by our good friends at Unibet. We've been a hard luck story this year, mate. We're still 2-1 on First Down Fridays. We have tried to make it a little bit more juicy, which obviously makes it harder for us to win. But 2-1, it is your week. Try and take that 3-1 lead, mate.
Yeah, you say it's harder to win, but we've got this Thursday night football game, which not that many people are that excited for. You've got the Patriots, which have been a really dominant, great-looking team with Drake May doing amazing things. He's knocking on the door of that MVP. But then you've got the Jets, who have sold the farm and then also have every single player under the sun injured. Like Justin Fields probably isn't starting. They're looking at Tyrod Taylor to go out and start for him. There's no Garrett Wilson. They don't have a wide receiver core. They sold their whole defense. Like in there, it is going to. The only thing to make this game entertaining is that we're going to punt on it, and we're going to punt and we're going to win. So you say that we've made it more juicy. I think with this game, it's almost a little bit predictable. So I'm quite happy with this. So I've got Drake May for 2 passing touchdowns. He's hit that like 9 out of 10 times this season. He's playing incredible. So you're playing against a secondary that doesn't exist. He's going to have 2 passing touchdowns. He's probably doing the first half, but we don't want it that juicy. Then I've got Breece Hall over his receiving yards. Now, he's hit over this number a lot this season, but some of them normally he goes for a whole lot more. Like he's hit over 40 plus receiving yards in 5 games already so far this year. But I've only got him for over 15.5 with a backup QB who loves to check down passes. So all Breece Hall needs is one good check down pass, and he might smash this in one reception. So I'm not taking him for receptions. I'm going to take him for yards, over 15 and a half. Then we've got Mac Hollins. I'm going to back him over his yards as a single, but we've thrown him into this multi just to juice it up a little bit of just over 20 yards. His line is at 37 and a half. So for him just to get 20, you're doing that in one reception as well. So all that combined is paying $3.40.
That sounds too easy. Breece Hall, 15 and a half yards. He'll get that in one play. Mac Hollins, over 20. That'll be one of the touchdown passes as well. I'd probably have him in there for a touchdown single as well. So $3, I reckon you are 3-1, and I'm happy to say that just so that we can get some money in our account too, mate. Because like you said, it really smells as a bit of the Friday, funk kind of game. They haven't been great lately.
No, yeah, Thursday Night Football has not been the one. Like the script writers and the schedule writers have served up a few doozies.
That's all right. Where we have been elite, mate, the 1K Club. We're 3 from 3. You can find these bets in our Unibet featured markets. It's so easy. You just go to the main page, Unibet featured. Any given Sunday is there. It's great. You'll go to the NFL tab, or it'll be on the main tab. It's so easy to find. The 1K Club is undefeated at the moment. We also have early touchdowns and primetime touchdowns, so get involved in them. But our 1K Club, who we got in that this week, mate?
We got Herbert, who's been absolutely lights out. We said that the Chargers are going in there and facing the Jags. We've actually tried to make this one a little bit more juicy, so I've thrown in Tua Tagovailoa in there, who has been a bit up and down this year, but after the big win against the Bills, I think he's going to be happy and ready to start slinging that ball. Also threw in the grandfather of the league, Aaron Rodgers, and the Steelers, because he's going up against the Bengals, and they've had a big battle matchup previously, and I think it's going to be a similar thing again, a bit of a shootout. And then we've got Josh Allen. I would say to have a bounce back game, but he actually threw all right in the loss against the Dolphins. They just ran over him on the ground, and a couple of mistakes and fumbles and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I got Josh Allen in there as well. So just to go over one more time, got Herbert, Tagovailoa, Rodgers, and Josh Allen to combine for 1,000 passing yards.
I like that Josh Allen against Baker Mayfield as well. This could be you'd almost put them both in there. It'll be a 600-plus pass yard, I reckon. So I like that, mate. And we are undefeated with it, so make sure you get around it. Hit us up for our Unibet link. It's going to be an enormous week 11. Is that where we are? Week 11.
We are at week 11.
Which blows my mind a little bit. Like, did you hear last week when you went on? Under 100 games, 100 days, sorry. Probably under 100 games too. Under 100 days until the Super Bowl.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And 2 drop punts, mate, and we will be there. Good luck to your Birds. My Packers have got the Giants. I'm staying away from that game because we could lose. We could lose to Jameis Winston.
It's on the cards for you this year. If we learn anything from your pack this year, any game that you should win, you'll lose, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Good luck week 11 with your punting, and go Pack go.